Do you think that could take away from his power, though, if he got smaller?
I don't know. Yeah, I think you either have it or you don't. You know, you got these guys that have knockout power, and guys that don't. You know, I don't know what difference your weight would be. You know, it's one thing if we're talking about a guy's weight being explosive and athletic as to being 265 pounds.
Did you think Nick was serious when he said he was retiring?
You never know with Nick Diaz, you know? You never know. I think he's just upset right now, and I think he's emotional, but who knows? Let me tell you what, the kid's made a lot of money. I mean, if he didn't want to do it anymore, maybe he could retire, but why? He's in his prime. Fight a few more years, and you'll have enough money to really do it and kick back for the rest of your life.
When you hear Josh Koscheck say that he's no longer with AKA, that was, there were some matchups there that you wanted to put together for a long time.
Now I'm doing a John Fitch fight. That's what I said to him.
What was his reaction?
He said, "Good luck with that."
So you think you still wouldn't be open to it right now, or does the evil genius inside of you just want to put that together, regardless of whether it makes sense?
That's what Lorenzo said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Lorenzo said too. I don't know. No, I'm just fucking with him. You know, if the fight made sense, because there was a time when those two were both going like this, and you know, if the fight made sense, though, yeah, I'd try to make it. I wouldn't do it just to do it.
Yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
I think so too. What did you think of Josh's AKA group? It was Koscheck and Fitch. What's going on with Mike Swick at this point? Have you guys been in contact with him or not really?
I haven't. I know Joe Silva has. Swick hurts himself when he gets out of bed in the morning every day, you know? I love Swick. He's one of my favorite guys, but, you know, he's Mr. Glass.
What do you think of Josh's performance?
Josh? Josh looked flat tonight, man. It looked like I expected Josh to have the faster hands, you know, let him go. He didn't really let his hands go tonight. He looked flat.
Him and Barral, people are starting to look at him. He's kind of flying under the radar, I think.
Not in Brazil, he's not.
No, definitely not. What did you think about his performance? I know you don't like the matchmaking. Obviously, you've already got a title fight set up in that division.
Right.
But what do you think about that guy?
Yeah, I think he's, you know, first of all, he's got an incredible streak going. He's huge, and he's the buzz right now in Brazil. Everybody's buzzing about that guy, and we'll see what happens.
I'm sorry. I know you mentioned it a little bit during the press conference, but did you talk to George St. Pierre after the fight? And if you do, what do you think that conversation is going to be like?
Yeah, I didn't. You know, I know he wanted Diaz, and he really wanted that Diaz fight bad, but it's not going to be Diaz. So he better get angry with Carlos Condit, or focused on Carlos Condit, or whatever it is he needs to do.
Now the injuries they're hit or miss. That sometimes somebody comes back 100%. Yeah, and often. They're never the same. Is there any worry in your mind that maybe St. Pierre isn't the same champion that he is?
I don't know. You know, these knee surgeries these days aren't what they used to be. He went to the absolute best doctor there is. He's getting the best physical therapy that you can get, and he's a hard worker. So some of these knee surgeries that they do now are just as good as, Jerry Rice 10 years ago came back off after a knee surgery and was still awesome. I think it depends on the individual, but these new knee surgeries are way different than they used to be.
And before this event, you guys released a video of interviews with football players to get their picks on this fight. Is that something that we can expect in the future from the relationship with Fox?
The Fox didn't have anything to do with that.
Really?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that had nothing to do with Fox.
So how'd you guys set that up then?
We just went in and we got it done. We interviewed the guys and what they thought about the fight. We were going to get Brady too, but Brady was they had him on lockdown. Couldn't get near Brady.
Sean Shelby couldn't pull some strings on that one?
Dude, you couldn't get near Brady. Nobody could get near Brady.
I don't want anybody to mess with him.
Exactly, me neither. Believe me. We didn't need his prediction that bad. I'm with you.
Dustin Poirier looked really good tonight. Do you have any maybe idea of setting him up with the Korean Zombie or any of the guys that he was mentioning?
Yeah, obviously, those would be exciting fights, and we like to give guys fights that they want. So it could happen, yeah. I'm not saying yes that that's his next fight, but yes, it could be.
I know you're going back to Brazil, going to Japan. Any chance or any word of what quarter, which month that the UFC will be coming to Hawaii?
No, we're still working on that, but we want to do it. I was kind of hoping, go to Hawaii again and do like a BJ fight. at the Aloha Bowl, but BJ wants to take some time off, and he's going to relax for a while. So, but we're coming regardless. But that was the fight I really wanted to do there.
Did you watch the Stephen Thompson fight live? Did you see it as it happened?
Did what?
The Stephen Thompson fight. Did you watch that live as it happened? The head kick.
No, I missed that fight.
You saw it on tape.
I missed that fight. Yeah, I saw it on tape.
How satisfying is it to kind of bring in a guy like that who's known for that kind of stuff, and then he does it?
Yeah, no,
right out of the
awesome.
gate?
Joe Rogan has been talking about this guy in his sleep. I mean, every time I talked to Rogan, he was going crazy about this kid. And then for him to come in and pull off a kick like that was awesome.
Somebody like that's going to be marketable in that division as he goes forward?
You keep doing shit like that, you're going to be very marketable, yeah, and people are going to love to watch you fight.
So you're going to Brazil for the Tough show, right? They're starting on Tuesday or so, right? What's the deal in
Monday.
Okay, so what?
Tomorrow I land Monday and start filming. We film the first day in Rio, and then the next 2 days we film in Sao Paulo.
And so what's the opportunity for us to see those fights? Is there already been a plan established for us to see that show?
They're gonna be on UFC.com, and they're gonna be somewhere else too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yes, everybody's gonna be able to see them.
And is that being shot the same way that used to be done, where it's all going to be finished and then we get to see it?
Yeah.
So is it following the old format, or is it the live format that we use?
Old format. Yep.
With the live format for the new U.S. show, are guys going to be kind of sequestered on lockdown like they were previously, or are they going to be able to have cell phones?
No.
They're twice as long.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. The first season of The Ultimate Fighter was the longest season we've ever done. It was something like 8 weeks, and those guys were losing their fucking minds. Bonner jumped. I almost kicked Bonner off the show. Bonner climbed up, turned the shower on, pretended he was taking a shower, climbed out the window, and went to a liquor store because we took all the liquor out of the house. Remember, after the big fight, and he got caught. Obviously, these idiots were in there driving around for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it was. That house was in the middle of nowhere. There's no liquor store near there. The guy was walking for like an hour and 30 minutes. So the shower was on. We caught him leaving, and imagine that. So much crazy shit happened that first season. Imagine if I kicked Stephan Bonner off the show for going to a liquor store. Forrest and Stephan would have never happened. It's just weird. So, thank God.
So with that in mind, it doesn't concern you that you're going to sequester these guys for 4 weeks longer than that?
No, that is what it is. It is what it is. It's going to be crazy.
Any updates on the other international toughs? You said a few weeks ago that you were really close to signing a couple other international toughs as well.
We are. Should be any time now. It's probably going to be India.
India next.
India will probably be first.
I know your ultimate goal is kind of the tough World Cup thing. How many countries do you need on board before you can hold a tournament? I mean, could you do it with just 4? Or?
Yeah, you can do it with 4, 5, 6. I mean, yeah, definitely. All the winners fight each other. And you end up with one winner.
Earlier today, there was a round table with Miesha Tate and Ronda Rousey and Scott Coker. I'm curious what your take on that fight is, and Ronda's kind of Chael Sonnen-esque approach to building this fight.
How did it go? Was it good?
It was good. It's kind of funny. They're both very polite, but she'd be like, well, I disrespect, I understand what you're saying. I don't like you, and yet I'm going to, smash your face. It was that kind of thing. It was very polite, though.
Ronda was?
Yeah. And then afterwards, Miesha was telling me that she wants to maim her.
Yeah, I like that fight. Like I said, in women's MMA, there's going to be some one-offs where you can do some fun fights. That's one of them. I'm excited about that fight. I actually like both those girls. I like their fighting styles, and I like them personally. So it's going to be a fun one.
New York legalization. I know you spoke recently saying that you were going to make it happen in 2012. Where's the progress, or what's the next step with that needs to happen to get it moving forward?
Well, we're in a lawsuit with the state of New York, and I'm very, very confident that we're going to win. Very confident. So
Is that the one on
it's
the
just
First Amendment?
the question is, how do you, how fast do these things move? Our first showing over there, we did really well. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick your camera. We did really well, so very confident that this is going to go our way.
After that Michael Bisping fight with Jason Miller and Michael Bisping, you were pretty adamant that was the end of it for Mayhem. Have you spoken to him and find out what happened that, for that poor performance?
I haven't talked to him, no. Yeah.
So you said that the fight has been verbally agreed to between Chael and Anderson. So did that go down literally tonight, and what was that all about?
Yeah, went down during the fight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what, Anderson finally just said, yeah, okay? Or who?
He was never not going to fight Chael Sonnen. You guys got to stop listening to Chael, okay? Chael is full of shit.
Did you know what the third fight would be for Fox?
I think I do. What two have we announced so far?
Well, no, don't tell. What do you think the two? And maybe you'll say.
Well, I know we got Diaz. We got, what was the other one?
Barry Johnson.
Huh?
Pat Barry.
Yeah. And we're working on the third one right now. I know what it is, yes, but it's not done yet. So I don't want to say anything until this thing's done. This one's trickier than the other two.
If you could give, go ahead.
Just cause.
Will there only be 3 fights?
Huh?
Will there only be 3 fights?
Yeah. No, there'll be more than 3 fights.
On the main card?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Probably be 4.
Really? So do you know what the 4th one is?
No, that we don't even have the 4th one yet.
And that's New Jersey. There are rumors that you're going to Atlantic City this summer. Is that true? Going back?
I think it is. I think it is true.
Okay. Which venue?
The answer was yes. We had talked about it, and Hawaii, and Montreal, and all these others. So, they're all still a work in progress. None of them are set in stone. We actually, I think I fly there next week. I fly there next week to meet with them. So we'll see what happens.
Obviously, you've just crowned a new champion in the welterweight division, and we had Josh and Mike fighting. Coming up, Jake Ellenberger is taking on Diego Sanchez. Where do you see the winner of that fight?
It's a very important fight for not only those guys, but for that weight division too. Ellenberger coming off the big win over Shields, and Diego Sanchez coming off these injuries and getting back into the groove again. He's been out for a while, so. It's a big fight for those guys and for that division.
Well, certainly a lot of people think, Ellenberger is a champ in the making. How many fights away do you think he could be from a title shot if he is victorious over Diego?
It depends on how that fight goes. Diego is a fighter that a lot of people respect. You don't just go in and walk through Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez is usually in a knockdown, drag him out war. And so it would depend. If he went in there and made quick work of Diego Sanchez, after just coming off and knocking out Jake Shields, pretty good place to be.
Ellenberger's a 2-1 favorite in the fight. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Does that surprise you?
The odds surprise me all the time. For Bisping to be a 5-1 underdog against Chael, and there's a lot of shit that surprises me in this sport.
From your perspective, welterweight right now is wide open. You see a lot of the old guard kind of fading out, or the people that we've been familiar with over the years kind of losing and falling off. From a business perspective, are you happy that the more established names and stars are losing, or is it you're seeing new? Yeah, or
none of that stuff matters to me. I don't ever, the way that this works is you're going to have winners and you're going to have losers. You're going to have guys that get older and they're going to retire, and that's the business. Our job is, and always has been, is to bring the best fights with the best fighters in the world. It's like the Diaz Condit thing. Carlos Condit won this fight tonight. No matter how much George and Nick hate each other, Carlos Condit won. And no matter, and I think the fans, like when I first sat down, I was like, the fans are mad about the way Carlos Condit fought. Too fucking bad. You know what I mean? You're mad at the way he fought. He went in there and he fought a great fight. Stuck to his game plan. Didn't fall into Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is the master of getting you to fight his type of fight, because fighters have egos, and millions of people are watching. When you start getting open hand slapped by the other guy and getting called, he's calling you names. All right, you want to do this? They dive in and they do it. Carlos Condit kept his cool tonight, fought a perfect fight, and like he said, started early chopping those legs, and that did make a big difference toward the end of the fight. It slowed Nick down a lot. Body shots too.
In welterweight though, going forward, because it seemed like for a while there was only George St. Pierre, and it was like he has to move up or this or that. Now you have a plethora of
Well, it
guys.
seemed like it was only George St. Pierre because he was dominating everybody, you know? He was so dominant. It's like the 185-pound division. Everybody thinks it's the weakest division in the world, which it's not. Just the baddest dude in the world has the belt in that division, so he makes it look very weak.
Dana, did you get any fan response for the brand new opening? And how did you feel the first time you saw it in the arena?
Yeah, it was cool. Actually, right after when I was going through Twitter and people were going crazy over it. People loved it. So, yeah, I was very satisfied. Yep. If you hated that open, I don't know what the hell to do, man. You know what I mean?
Gladiator Van Is he going to go Hall of Fame?
Gladiator Hall of Fame? I don't think so. The Gladiator, like I said to the press that were there when we did it, you know, at the time when we bought this thing and I was looking for that identity for the brand, the Gladiator worked perfect and it was great, and it's time. And now, where we are today, I think this is perfect. So I'm really happy.
Dana, people are.
Yeah, no, he's one of the up and comers. He's in there too. I think as you get closer to finding the next guy to fight either Condit or GSP, you start matching up some of those guys to look for the next #1 contender.
Dana, people are joking about taking life insurance policies out on Chael's head.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Taking out life insurance policy for Chael to go down to Brazil, I think he's going to be okay in Brazil. There's a lot of people that hate him, but people love these type of rivalries. I mean, for Brazil, you heard the guy earlier talking about what it's like down in Brazil. For those of you that haven't gone down there yet to a live fight and been, it's insane, man. It is insane. And he's right. The numbers that we're pulling, I mean, we peaked at 6.6 million or something the other night on Fox. We're like, fucking woohoo, that's awesome. We're doing 50 million people watching down there. And there's only 200 million people in the country, and absolutely those numbers are going to keep going up and up and up. And I think that this Ultimate Fighter down there is going to be huge. The Ultimate Fighter is going to be huge. Just to explain to you guys how big this is, it's crazy. And in the 10 years that we've been working in all these other markets, 56,000 up in Toronto was phenomenal. I mean, it was so. We're going to do 80,000 people in the soccer stadium down there.
You guys did the Toronto show.
On our third fight.
You guys kind of retrofitted the stadium so that there were, a ton of TV screens and things like that. Have you started thinking about how you're going to be able to do that?
Yeah, we'll pull it off. That's one thing that I'll never do. I'll never go into a stadium like that and not do it the right way. We'll do it the right way, and we'll make it work.
Dana, you kind of seemed like you were open to a potential rematch. Did I misread you? Or you said that'd be crazy?
You know what's funny, man, is that when he said that, I was thinking the same thing. It's crazy, but.
Were you thinking it like during the fight? Like maybe
No.
Or so,
I was thinking it after the fight. I was like, you know what? People bitching, people think that was close, and people whatever. We could do that fight again before GSP comes back.
Would you do it as Carlos's next fight?
I don't know. Depends on Carlos too. Carlos has really got to say. And Nick's got to say I want to fight him again too. So.
You have a lot of international fights coming up. You have Japan, you have Sweden and Australia. The Sweden and Australia shows are going to be on network TV, on FX and Fuel. Will those be aired live, or will they be via tape delay?
The ones that we're doing in Japan?
No, the Sweden and Australia.
Will they be aired live here? Yeah.
Okay, so
they are live. Yeah, the Sweden show's live on FX.
Yeah.
Dana, can you give your thoughts on Raj Kundra hooking up with Ken Pavia to start the Super Fight League in India?
Who?
Raj Kundra, he owns a bunch of cricket teams. He owns a major cricket team. He brought in Ken Pavia to run his...
he hooked up with the biggest piece of shit on earth.
Super Fight League.
Yeah, super piece of shit guy. That's who he hooked up with. I hate Ken Pavia. He's a scumbag.
And any thoughts on MTV's Cage? Have you seen it or heard about it?
Who?
MTV's Cage.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've never seen it. Is it good? No?
It's like Teen Mom with a couple MMA fighters.
I've never seen Teen Mom either. You have way too much time on your hand, my friends. That it? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.